Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Logan Bourandas, joined by Dugan Lloyd and Jarrett Daveler. Tonight we'll be looking at some of the teams on the bubble in the NFL playoff picture. Let's start off in the AFC with a team who's already lost their original quarterback due to retirement, and now their new starter is week to week with an MCL sprain. But guys, what do you think about the Indianapolis Colts?
Logan, the way I see it, it comes down to the Colts and the Texans. The Texans have been very inconsistent, and honestly, I don't quite trust them. The Colts, on the other hand, are winners of 3 of their last 4. I like the way they're going. Brissett is out week to week right now with an MCL sprain, but I'm going to take them to win the division.
The Colts actually scare me a little bit because Brissett's banged up, T.Y. Hilton, their best receiver, is banged up, and they did beat the Texans already, but it was at home. Now they go on the road to face the Texans in the next matchup. I think they're going to lose that one. I don't think they're good enough to make the playoffs. I actually think they're going to finish 3rd in the division behind the Texans and the Jaguars. Their kicking game has also really struggled this year, and you could definitely see that impacting some games down the stretch.
I'm going to agree with you, Dugan. I think the Colts are the top team in the division right now. The Colts did beat the Texans earlier on. I think they will beat them on the road despite the fact that it's in Houston, and I think that the Colts will find a way to make the playoffs. And now let's move on to a team who's currently in 2nd place in the AFC North, to the Baltimore Ravens. Guys, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers are definitely interesting. I think they're going to be in the hunt the whole way, but I just don't see them having enough to make the playoffs. Mason Rudolph is not a playoff quarterback. Next week they take on the Rams. I don't think they can win that. I think they're going to be really close, but I just don't think they make it in.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Rudolph is just too young, too inexperienced. He's done his part, but it's not going to be enough. Right now they're really struggling, losing a lot of big pieces, and they're the 28th ranked offense in the NFL right now. They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, to talk about that offense, what really concerned me about the Steelers was the fact that they tried to trade for Le'Veon Bell at the deadline. Goes to show that something's up with James Conner right now, and the running game for the Steelers is currently not right. But let's move on from the AFC to the NFC, and let's talk about the next team on our list, a team who's in a tight division race in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions.
The way I see it, the Lions are falling short yet again. This is not the team for them. They've lost 4 of their last 5, and really, you never know what you're going to get from them every Sunday. I mean, at the base they're at, they have a pretty tough schedule. I mean, it's up for debate, but I just don't see them getting in.
Dugan, I'm actually going to have to disagree with you on this one. I think the Lions make a surprising second-half run and reach the playoffs. I don't know what you're saying about a tough schedule. They play the Bears twice. They suck. They play the Redskins. That's an easy win. Matt Stafford has been putting up incredible numbers this year. I think he continues that. I think they're getting better every week. I think Matt Patricia is a great second-year head coach. And, yeah, I think they have enough to make a wild card in the NFC.
I'm going to agree with Dugan on this one. I think that just even if the Lions get hot in this next stretch, the Packers and the Vikings are just on another level this year. And there are a bunch of teams in the NFC that are just one step ahead, and the Lions might just be that one team missing out. And they had some games where they could have won. The refs maybe kind of put it the wrong way, or just maybe they blew it in general. I just don't think that this year is the Lions' year. So let's move on to a team who has had another tough stretch. Their starting quarterback out in week 2, and their backup has been pretty successful. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers.
Kyle Allen is another quarterback who's done well and is unexperienced, but it's just not enough. Against elite defenses, he's not going to be there. They've been very one-dimensional, I also feel, with Christian McCaffrey. He's accounted for a lot of their offense, and when they get down the stretch, he's not going to be able to do that every week. They're not getting in.
I think the Panthers are a good team. I think they could make the playoffs, but I see them finishing at 10-6, which in the NFC I don't think is going to be enough to reach the playoffs. You said they go on the road to play the Packers, on the road to play the Saints. Those are 2 losses. I think Kyle Allen is good, but I don't think he's good enough to be a playoff quarterback, and I see them missing out.
Whether it's Kyle Allen or whether it's Cam Newton, you can't look past the fact that they play the Falcons twice. The Falcons have been one of the worst teams in the league this year. And, I mean, the Panthers with Kyle Allen have looked like a very good team. They're 5-1 this year when Kyle Allen is a starter. I could see the Panthers making it as a surprise 6 seed. So give me the Panthers as a playoff contender here. So the final team on our radar here for teams on the bubble, we're talking about a team in a very tight divisional race, the Philadelphia Eagles.
I actually like the Eagles not to make the wild card, but to win the division. They lost at Dallas a couple weeks ago, but this time they play Dallas. They come to Philly. I think they're going to beat them. Dallas is not very good. They're inconsistent. They lost to the Jets, and the Eagles are getting healthy. Their defense is getting better. Carson Wentz is playing well, and right now their running game has been a two-headed monster with Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. So, yeah, I think they win the NFC East.
I have to disagree with you somewhat. While I have them in the playoffs, I'm getting as a 6 seed. I don't think they're good enough for Dallas. I don't quite believe you and what you're saying about my Cowboys. And they're going to get healthy. They're going to get their secondary back, and they're going to be stronger on the defensive side of the ball. But I just don't think it's enough right now.
I think the Eagles are going to make it into the playoffs. It's going to be as a division winner just because of how stacked this wild card race is right now in the NFC. And I think that the Eagles definitely can make the playoffs as a 4 seed, beating the Cowboys in the division. The Cowboys, you mentioned, are an inconsistent team. They lost to my Jets, who lost to the Dolphins last week. We're not really going to talk about that much. But I could definitely see the Eagles making the playoffs. And that'll wrap it up here for the NFL Playoff Picture segment here on Penn State Sports Night. For Dugan Lloyd and Jarrett Daveler, I'm Logan Bourandas, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSNTV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.